Hey, all you Tae Kwon Do fans out there, how would you like to learn a little bit of history of Tae Kwon Do? That's what this video is going to be about. Let's get ready to watch it.
The name Tae Kwon Do is derived from the Korean word Tae meaning foot, Kwon meaning fist, and Do meaning way of. So literally Tae Kwon Do means the way of the foot and fist. The name Tae Kwon Do, however, has only been used since 1955, while the art's roots began 2,300 years ago in Korea. Known as a martial art and way of life, the evolution of Tae Kwon Do was a direct result of the happenings in Korea long ago, and knowledge of the history is an important step in understanding the Kwon Do. Korean history began when in 2333 BC. The legendary national founder Tae Kwon founded Old Korea at Asadal. As high the histories of other nations, communal life was gradually transformed into tribal communities and then tribal leagues and finally took the form of a state. Although no written history of the fighting systems of this time remains, it is known that the people of this time were hunters and had some means of protection as well as livelihood. The three kingdoms. During the 6th century AD, what we now call the Korean Peninsula was divided in 3 kingdoms: Goguryeo, Baekhan Silla, Goguryeo 37 BC. 6060 AD, Goguryeo was the largest kingdom. It occupied the southern section of Manchuria and the northern section of the Korean Peninsula. Baekje 18 BC. 600 AD, Pyeongtae was situated along the Han River and in southwestern Korea. Silla 57 BC. 936 AD, Silla was the last and smallest of the kingdoms and located on the southeastern tip of the Korean Peninsula. Archaeological findings during these times, such as the mural paintings on the royal tombs during the Goguryeo period, stone sculptures at pagodas during the Silla period, and documents written in the Baekje period show techniques and fighting stances that were probably the first forms of the Kwon Do. The 3 kingdoms were at war with each other and constantly fought for new ground on the peninsula. Silla, being the smallest and weakest militarily, began to have a difficult time protecting itself against the other kingdoms, and so took an action which would turn out to be a key point in Korean history. Hwarang, the 24th king of Silla, Chin Hung, formed a group of warriors which were called the Hwarang. The Hwarang were trained in weapons such as the sword, spear, and bow. They devoted their lives to these martial skills in the hopes that they could save Silla. The Hwarang also studied an armed form of combat called subak. Subak was a primitive form of foot fighting using some hand, but mostly foot techniques. The Hwarang took subak and added things to it to create a more fighting art. The techniques of subak were created to be used in fighting along with the other weapons of the Hwarang to make the warriors able to defeat their enemies. But Shin Hyunuk needed something more than just competent soldiers. He needed something to unify the Hwarang and create the mental conditioning to lead the kingdom to victory. So he asked Won Kang, a Buddhist monk and scholar, to take charge of the Hwarang training. Won Kang did so, and not only created fine warriors, but actually a way of thought for the Hwarang. Won Kang came up with a code of ethics that the Hwarang warriors followed. They were 1. Be loyal to your king. 2. Be obedient to your parents. 3. Have honor and faith among friends. 4. Have perseverance in battle. 5. Justice, never take a life without cause. With the code of ethics and with their skills in fighting the Hwarang, became the Hwarang Do, which meant way of the flower of manhood. The Hwarangjo became known for their bravery and fighting skill and soon supplied the leadership to defeat both the Baekje and Goguryeo kingdoms and unify Korea into one country known then as Goryeo. Goryeo Dynasty. 918 AD to 1392. The Goryeo Dynasty was a time for growth and development in the martial arts. During this time, unarmed combat gained its greatest popularity. It was believed that subak was introduced to China and became known there as Kwanpop. Subak also changed its name to Subaki because of the new techniques and the mental discipline added to the style. Subaki became a popular sport by both the military and the general public. Martial arts were on an upswing, and even new styles began to appear. One such style was Tae Kwon. Tae Kwon involved many more and new kicking techniques, was designed as more of a fighting sport than a discipline. Tae Kwon and Suyobaki contests were held at annual festivals given by the king. The winners of this contest were given high court offices and also taught the styles to the military, which now made these unarmed arts mandatory. Since the soldiers learned and practiced these arts, during their travels throughout the kingdom, they also spread the study of martial arts. Dynasty 1392A to 1910. During the Yui dynasty, Korea, Ieyashi Chosen underwent a dramatic change from Buddhism, the predominant religion, to Confucianism. This change brought a Chinese influence over the government and the people of the time. Military leaders began to lose their power to civilian statesmen who believed in the cultural development of their civilization. The people as a whole began to lose interest in the study of martial arts. The study of martial arts, including weapons, was banned to all but the military. The Hwarang Do, which were rooted in the Buddhist teachings, gradually lost its importance among young people. Martial arts began a great downfall. There was, however, an important contribution to the martial arts when King Jongjo ordered a manual of military arts to be written, including weapons, Dakion, and Suobaki. The manual, written by Lee Duke-mu, included detailed sections on unarmed combat, thus preserving and writing the techniques of these fighting arts. During the Yi dynasty, several invasions by the Japanese were fought off. However, due to the eventual decline of military power, the Yuji dynasty ended with the Japanese takeover on August 2nd, 1910. Japanese control. Now that Japan had great influence in Korea Chuseon, many things were changed. All competitive sports and martial arts were outlawed. Only the military, now under Japanese control, could practice martial arts. Sobaki was practiced in secret and soon changed its name again to Subakdo. Japanese combat arts were introduced to Korea at this time. The people of Korea received them with great interest. Due to peace treaties between the Japanese and Koreans, Japanese educational curricula were taught in all Korean schools, and also such Japanese arts as Kendo Way of the Sword, Judo, Karate, and Aikido. Once again, martial arts began to flourish with each side, Japan and Korea, trading techniques and styles of martial arts. On August 15, 1945, Korea was liberated from Japan and Korean arts could once again develop. Unifying of Tae Kwon Do. Within Korea Mir were 5 major martial art academies, or kwans. They were called Muduk Kwon, Jido Kwon, Chungmu Kwon, Chungdo Kwon, and Songmu Kwon. Within these schools lie a variety of styles such as Kong Sudo, Taekyon, Subakdo, Tang Sudo, Kwonpop, etc. The way of teaching and employing many of the techniques varied as much as the schools, and in 1946 an attempt was made to unify Dojang's training hall and standardize instructional methods. Some of the leaders wanted to uphold the martial art character of the schools, while others wished to create a combat sport. These meetings met with no success. In 1955, a board of instructors, historians, and prominent society members sat down to coordinate all the schools and select a name for the hopefully unified art. In April 1955, a new name was from a group of names by the board. It was Tae Kwon Do. In 1962, the Korean Amateur Sports Association recognized the Korean Tae Kwon Do Union, which later became known as the Korean Tae Kwon Do Association. On May 28, 1973, the World Tae Kwon Do Federation was officially established at the Kukaiwon headquarters by Dr. Kim Young-keun. Located in Seoul, Korea, the World Tae Kwon Do Federation is the governing body which preserves Taekwondo's roots and development, controls testing and testing requirements, and promotes the study of Taekwondo all over the world. In this way, the WTF hopes to continue the unification of their native art. Taekwondo today is just as exciting as ever. Taekwondo, under the leadership of the World Taekwondo Federation, has grown into an international art and sport practiced in over 190 counties worldwide. In 1975, the U.S. Amateur Athletes Union accepted Taekwondo as an official sport. Taekwondo was also admitted to the General Association of International Sports Federations and the International Council of Military Sports in 1976. In 1980, the WTF became an International Olympic Committee. IOC recognized Sports Federation, making Taekwondo a demonstration sport for the 1988 and 1992 Olympic Games. Taekwondo is now an official event for the 2000 Olympiad to be held in Australia. In the United States, there are more than 6 million practitioners of this Korean art. The United States Tae Kwon Do Union is the only national governing body for the sport of Tae Kwon Do in the United States. As the NGB for the sport, the USTU is a member of the United States Olympic Committee, the World Tae Kwon Do Federation, and the Pan American Tae Kwon Do Union.
Well, I hope you like my video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Until then, I will see you later.